Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Laura's Dose of Stamping Therapy. I am so excited to play with the Hydrangea Haven stamp set and framelits, and I wanted to share with you a few different ways that you can use this set because to me there's so many different options because of the color variations with a hydrangea that there's just so many fun techniques to use. So I've actually put on my apron today because I've already had some close calls, and I have to say I got a new shirt yesterday and I'm super excited. It is, let's see if you can see, Central Perk. And I love Friends. Actually, we both love Friends. And Brad's actually got a Central Perk shirt that I got him for Christmas, I think last year, or maybe birthday or something. I don't remember what it was. So yeah, now we have matching ones, but it's super soft and comfy. And I finally ventured out and went into Target yesterday to get some comfy clothes for the end of the pregnancy slash beginning of childcare whenever he pops out and everything. And this was one of the shirts. I got this one, and I got another shirt that just says Friends across the top. But I love them both. I'm so excited. And it's one of those like super soft, fuzzy, it's not really fuzzy, but super soft like t-shirts. And yeah, I had a close call with some Old Olive re-inker. Luckily, it hit the like printed part, so it's kind of like plasticky. So we're good. But anyway, welcome to Laura's Dose of Stamping Therapy. It's Thursday. It's rainy and gross. So I'm here in my basement pretending that it's still sunny and fabulous and spring is near. I can be hopeful, right? Okay, so I don't know a ton about these flowers. I just know that they are various shades of blues and purples and pinks. As you can see, Stampin' Up! Took care of that for us. So it doesn't take a genius, but I did know that prior to this. And it has something to do with like the acidity in the soil, I think. If you are a plant person, let me know what that is. Maybe you do know. If you are not a plant person, then it really doesn't matter. Good morning, Karen. Welcome. But yeah, I think it has something to do with the acidity in the soil and what makes the colors different. So the colors that Stampin' Up! Uses are Rococo Rose. Here I have all of them. Rococo Rose and Highland Heather, Misty Moonlight, and Seaside Spray. So you can see there's a little bit of blues and then a little purple to blue. And then that Rococo Rose for a little bit of pink in there. Maybe a little bit more like that so that it fades. And then Old Olive, of course, is the choice that they went with for the stem. So there's designer series paper. There's the stamp set, the framelits. There's all kinds of goodies for this. So I'm pretty much just going to show you the stamp set and then like a little bit with the framelits, because I'm not going to keep getting up to go die cut them. But as you can see in the catalog here, it does show that the framelits, like the images that are like cream colored, like solid cream colored, that means that there's a coordinating framelit to go with it. So this one, this one, this one, the leaves, and then the two extra flowers. So super cute. Okay. Push this aside. So one of the things that I wanted to show you first is Basic Gray, Memento Black, and Stays On. I need to re-ink my Stays On. I feel like this didn't come out super strong. So I do need to re-ink my Stays On ink pad. But what I wanted to show was the fact that like I normally pick like a gray because I like that lighter tone rather than that bold outline whenever I go to do mine. So you can see that in the stamp set, I can stamp this in a solid color, gray, black, whatever you wish. and then stamp the top flower and the bottom leaves. So here we have that. And then we have our green stem that I just inked up in Old Olive. This would be one of those good ones to do with the Stamparatus, just so you were consistent. I'm actually going to stamp this again on the next one because I feel like that first one's quite dark. So stamping off once might be a good option for that like lighter look. Old Olive full strength, Old Olive stamped off once. And then, of course, we could always just take this image and make it a solid flower. So this is Highland Heather. Also, I will say this is a solid background stamp. So sometimes you have problems where it doesn't actually hit all the areas. And I'll show you that here in a second. So like I can see that it didn't actually hit some of those areas like that. So sometimes you can pick it up, like you can even see there's like a fingerprint right there, almost like the size of a fingerprint. So you can always set it back down, try to slide it off the table and then press in that area. A couple other things that I like to do. I have Stamparatus plates over here, but no Stamparatus. So hold on, let me go get the Stamparatus. A little belly shot for you while I was standing. It's huge. It's there. It still feels so far away. Let me make sure my comments are scrolling. If you're just jumping on, give me a shout out. Good morning. Welcome. So, sorry. Of course, you can always use your Stamparatus to line it up and re-ink it and stamp it back down perfectly. Another thing that you can do with your Stamparatus is use the foam mat. And that foam mat will give nice, good, even pressure on a photopolymer stamp. Trying to find, yes. So a red rubber stamp, this is the Hey Chick, which is out this month, has red rubber, so it has that foam to have that little bit of give and push. Photopolymer does not have that give and push with the foam, so that's what this is for. So let's try this again. And stamp it down. Much better. So yeah, awesome two-way use of your Stamparatus. Okay. So here's our flower all done in purple. This is Highland Heather with basic gray and Old Olive. So then with the Memento one, of course you could always use your Stampin' Blends and play with the various colors. I'm not going to color the whole thing right now because you guys don't want to see me color 500 little flowers, but I also think I would probably go nuts coloring each one of these and trying to not make it look perfect. And do you fill in the white in between or not? Like I almost feel like you fill it in because if you've ever looked at a hydrangea flower, they're just like this giant ball of flower and color and gorgeous. So I almost want to like do this area and this area. This is my kind of coloring. And then move over to some purple and blend into that Rococo Rose just a little bit. And then go darker. Oh, geez. I'm using the marker tip since I'm kind of covering a larger area than I normally would. Like if I was doing the fine tip little flowers, maybe I wouldn't, but since I'm kind of covering a larger area. So just adding like a little bit of darker look there. Then let's go over to some Seaside Spray. And again, this is one of those hard things where I'm like, that does not look uniform. But technically that's what a hydrangea flower looks like. So it's kind of one of those struggle cards or images for me. Ooh, that's way too dark. Ooh, we're going to go with it though, I guess. Wow. Might want to be careful with the Misty Moonlight. It just feels way too dark. I'm going to come back in with some Seaside Spray and help blend that and bleed it in. Put a little Seaside Spray, darker. I don't know. Does that look like a hydrangea flower? I don't know. Like I said, I'm so horrible with having it look uniform. And I really need to probably stop. Oops, not that one. Let's go this one. But I can't help myself. Add a little bit more purple in there. If anything, it looks like they're rounded off, so it looks like a shadow of that dark blue. But that's another option, is to play with your blends and to color it with that. Of course, I did still do this with the ink pad. So then with the StazOn, of course, you can always use watercolor and do the same thing. So I could take either an aqua painter or a blender pen. Actually, here. Well, they're over there somewhere. But you could take either one of those, and then what I like to do most is to use my clear block as a palette and pick up like that. I'm going to use a blender pen only because I feel like an aqua painter is going to be too wet, and I don't want it to make a giant mess or take forever to dry. And then just add color here and there. This way almost gives that light and dark without meaning to, only for the fact that like the first spot you put the blender pen down gets the darkest, and then it like bleeds out until you need more. So you can kind of get that like lighter, darker look. Obviously, purple is my color this morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Laura's Dose of Stamping Therapy. Or good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're watching the replay of this possibly too. Okay, so I'm not going to finish that one. But of course, you can always use your aqua painter or Stampin' blends. Or blender pens. So that's 3 ways to do it there. Now let's get into some technique. And I need to wipe this off before bad things happen. Which is why I'm wearing an apron today. Because bad things have already happened and I love my shirt too much. Normally I'm kind of like, it's okay. But I just got this shirt yesterday, so I'm super excited because it's a Friends shirt. Okay, so a couple other techniques. When I first saw this, I saw the baby wipe technique. So the baby wipe technique is I have 2 baby wipes folded in half here, mostly because there's such a large image that I wanted to make sure I had everything with enough space for everything. So I did a whole bunch of green down here for the leaves and the stem. And then up here, I just did drops of the re-inker all over. Here I stamped the entire image. You can see it's a little bit light. As the colors start to smear together, then they really start to change. Hopefully you guys can see the different color in that, and then the fact that this is all green. I did get a little bit of blue on that leaf. And then this one I went ahead and stamped in basic gray, and then just did that top portion. So don't worry, I am going to show you how I did that. And then I also die cut one of them. But I didn't do the stem, I just did the leaves. So I still would go back probably with a Stampin' Blends and color that with like the light old olive. So then I also went back and just used this as my ink pad and stamped it down. So I'm going to bring this back in and we'll stamp it right here. And you can see that variation in color. Now, I actually used all 4 colors for this one. And I think I'd rather almost stick to like 2, maybe 3 colors for future ones. So that's what I'm going to do now and show you how I did it. I think I'm just going to use this one again. So take a baby wipe. And since I'm just actually going to do the top, I think I probably just need 1 baby wipe. And I'm just going to fold it in quarters. You kind of want a little bit of thickness to your baby wipe. 1, because you're adding re-inker and you don't want to mess with that. And 2, you want a little bit of squish so that the so that it's not like if I were to just take ink and put it on this hard surface table and then stamp into it, it would just go everywhere. You want that little bit of squish so that it actually like sticks to your stamp. Okay, so that's why I have 4 layers, a little bit of squish. And you can always take this and like stamp it down. And now I know my size for how big I need to make my my ink pad. So I'm going to take a little bit of Rococo Rose, but just a little bit. I find the Rococo Rose to be just a hair too dark, kind of. So we're just going to do three drops. I have a hard time with evens. Right? You're supposed to decorate in odds. And then now I'm taking my Highland Heather. I'm probably going to do most of this in Highland Heather and Seaside Spray. So now I'm just going to drip around in Highland Heather. And then fill in with my Seaside Spray. I will say that these ink pads tend to look better after a couple stamping times to really smear the colors together. And I'm kind of inking really close to the Rococo Rose because I want the Rococo Rose to be a little on the lighter side. Like I want it to be like almost diluted in half, like a very light mauvey color and not so pinky. Okay, so now this is our ink pad. let me grab some paper. For some reason, I have 1,000,001 of these little squares. I don't know what project that was or left over. So now I'm just going to ink it up. And it's okay to kind of go up and down a little bit. I wouldn't go up and down and then smear all around, because then you're going to kind of create a mess really fast. And so there you have that ink pad. Like I said, a couple times, like the first few, you really kind of need to like press the color to like smear into each other. And then it really starts to kind of come alive. And then, like, I kind of want to do the top part. I think I did this last in basic gray. And I'm really just going to ink the top, because I might like die cut it and then just put like clusters all around and then do just the leaves. So then you can see it still, I feel like, needs like more color in the middle. So I might need to add more ink refill in the middle. For some reason, the outside seems to be really dark, and the inside seems to be a little bit lighter. So let's do a little bit more purple in the middle. Maybe a little bit more blue. The thing about this is, like, if you mess it up, toss it and start again with another baby wipe. One of the other things that I might try to do is ink it up on this foam mat so that it also has that pressure, since this isn't as squishy as an ink pad is. This definitely looks a lot more purple. If you're just joining in, welcome. Give me a shout out so I can say hello. I'm playing with the Hydrangea Haven stamp set and framelets, mostly just the stamp set, and coloring it in different ways. I'll also be honest, I almost feel like this one needs to be maybe done in black rather than gray, so that it's a little bit more bold, because it does kind of fade into the color a little bit more. And I almost feel like it needs to stand out more. So my normal thought of going with that lighter shade so it's not so bold might not be the case in this one. One of the other samples I wanted to show you, and I didn't bring him over here. Good job, Laura. Hold on just a second. And that is my sponge daubers. So, whoop. Glad I have my apron on, because I just squeezed that between my legs. Okay. Let's see. Then I can wipe it on my belly and not feel bad. So another option with all of this coloring is to take the stamp. I'm going to go ahead and clean it off. You can see with this one, I actually went a lot darker with the blue. And this one is a lot lighter with the purple and the lighter blue. But I actually did use Misty Moonlight with that one. Okay, so the other option, did I already clean this? Maybe, maybe not. Pregnancy brain is real. I've completely lost my mind. So the other option is to go ahead and take, I'm actually going to take Seaside Spray, I think, which is our lightest color. So I'm going to take Seaside Spray and ink this up, and then take my sponge dauber and add some of the Highland Heather. Just ink it up, your sponge dauber, and then just randomly pounce on the stamp. That just screams like cotton candy or unicorn to me. And then you can add your flower. Or you could do it in the opposite sense by stamping it in Highland Heather and adding a little bit of Seaside Spray. Whoop. I am just creating an inky mess on my table today. So that one's a little bit more purple, but has that gradual blue. I actually feel like I like this technique the best because it looks more gradual and slight rather than so bold and different. So I would probably have to say that this is, of course, whenever I die cut these, then it won't matter to not have the leaves on there. But yeah, I almost feel like this one is my favorite technique because I like that subtle, gradual look. So let me know which one you guys like the most. Do you like the baby wipe technique, which you could probably get a little bit more subtle if you were maybe didn't use the Rococo Rose and the Misty Moonlight and instead just used Seaside Spray and Highland Heather, or a shade of color of your choice too. So yeah, lots of different ways to use this and to get lots of different looks. So this one is the sponge dauber, and these are the baby wipe. This one is stamping it just regular. This one is coloring with Stampin' Blends. This one is not finished, but coloring with blender pens, and of course the different shades of Basic Gray, Memento, and Stays On. Of course, there's a lot of other images in there for you to be able to add leaves and things. So like for all of these, I can die cut them with this die cut and just get that top piece. And then I can always do just like little leaves kind of poking out as I want, rather than doing the full stem. So lots of great options with that. Let me know which one your favorite way to color your hydrangea is. And hopefully it's either the same as mine or gives me even more inspiration for different ways that I can color it. I also wanted to share with you guys that I finished my Valentine's Day treats yesterday. So this is what I ended up doing. I actually was able to fit a packet of M&Ms in there. And so I just did the little snail and the high Valentine and did it like sort of up and down. I put both of those on with Stampin' Dimensionals. So you're going to have to, well, I guess my original intention was just slide the ribbon off, but I took that option away when I added those. So I guess you're pretty much going to have to either try to untie it, which probably isn't going to happen, or clip the ribbon to be able to do that. Again, I'm giving these to my nieces and nephews, so all they care about is probably what's on the inside, and not necessarily the cuteness of it, which is why I didn't go like majorly overboard with it. I did run out of the black ribbon that came in the Paper Pumpkin box. So I did add some of the pool party because I felt like it really went with the snail there. So that's another option, is to do that. And I also did treats for Claire's class, where I just did a little cellophane bag, and it has a thing of M&Ms in it and a little thing of Play-Doh, like cute little thing of Play-Doh. And those I tied with the pool party ribbon, and then I just added these on the front with Stampin' Dimensionals. So I will be posting a picture of that here on my Facebook page, so you can check those out and see the Valentine's Day treats that I did this year. So I'm super excited about it. That was a Paper Pumpkin add-on and the January Paper Pumpkin. Don't forget, you still have 6 days to sign up for the February Paper Pumpkin and join in the fun and surprise and excitement of Paper Pumpkin. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. If it's rainy and gray and cloudy, I hope you enjoy some stamping time or some me time, maybe snuggled up on the couch or something like that. I will always be snuggling with this little one for a few more weeks. And then, of course, the other toddler upstairs who's running around and will probably wear out fast because she woke up early today. So I hope you guys will have a wonderful day. Love, hugs, and prayers to all of you guys. You are amazing, and I will see you next time. Happy stamping. Bye-bye.